Sean Diddy Combs is facing more than 100 new sexual assault allegations against him. Attorney Tony Busby said a wave of lawsuits will be filed in the next month, including from an accuser who claims they were 9 years old at the time of the alleged incident. Court TV anchor Julie Grant is with us right now. Thank you for taking the time to be with us, because it can be difficult to follow everything Combs is facing right now. What stands out to you about these new allegations?
Oh, Chris, it's the minors, without a doubt, the minors. So that attorney, as you noted, hosted that press conference yesterday. And to be really clear, nothing has been filed yet. So for any of your viewers wondering, can we look at the documents? Can we see what's in these suits? They haven't filed anything yet. This is just their word that we've got all of the accusers that you noted, 25 of them being minors at the time of these alleged incidents, alleging sex assault, alleging beatings, alleging druggings, really, really heinous allegations, some of which sound very similar to what, as you know, Chris, is in that federal criminal case that's brought against Sean Diddy Combs. And these cases could really begin intersecting. You know, that's what a lot of people are thinking about this morning, because what's new here is, okay, we've got more people saying that they've been victimized. Does it fall under the umbrella of the Combs enterprise? That's a big question. And then I think the thing that's really leaving a lot of people shaking this morning is the number of minors.
Yes.
We know that these are just allegations, which the Diddy team is denying is not only false, categorically false, but also, Chris, they're saying that they're defamatory as well, saying that he's innocent and looking forward to that day in court to prove his innocence, and going to fight these lawsuits, every single one of them.
And you're an attorney. When someone uses defamatory, what does that mean for what this case could look like going forward?
Oh, so here's what it means. So one thing to remember, truth is always a defense to defamation. So, you know, if these are untrue, oh, he could sue them big time, Chris. So that's what it means. And we know Diddy's got the money power to do it, right? And speaking of the money, his team is saying that this is a money grab. They're saying that these people are coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, because they see that he's in hot water with the federal case, the 11 other cases. We know 11 suits are currently filed against him in civil court. And so you hear this attorney coming out of the press conference, and those who are skeptical and believe in Diddy's innocence are saying, yeah, you know, maybe it is about money. Because, Chris, as you know, that is what civil cases are about, money.
Yes, and he's facing this federal indictment, which there's some financial charges that he's accused of. But as we went through it, I know a couple weeks ago when it dropped, I mean, there were some very lewd things, to say the least, in the indictment. Moving forward, though these are just accusations at this point, how could these accusations, if potentially they file charges, impact that case we're seeing play out in federal court in New York?
Chris, great question. So these alleged victims could become witnesses in that federal case. So they've got the big racketeering charge, right? They're saying that he committed conspiracy to commit racketeering and did all these crimes, the federal government is saying. And some of the ones, as you noted, I mean, really horrible stuff: kidnapping, arson, sex assault, aggravated assault, the use of narcotics to induce individuals to engage in forced sex, also the transportation of individuals for purposes of prostitution. So let's just say that any of these individuals that law firm was talking about on Tuesday were coerced. Let's say if they were, and it was under the enterprise, that could all come in. They can certainly amend that indictment. They can file what's called a superseding indictment, one to take the place of the previous one, and tack on potentially more charges. We just have to wait and see, Chris, what kind of vetting the federal government does with these people.
And I know his legal team wants him out of jail, and they're trying to get him out of jail, but he's still being held on bail right now. Without bail.
Yes, you're correct.
Without bail. How likely is it at this point that he actually may be free before he faces a trial?
Oh, that's another good question, too. I would say it's very unlikely, Chris, because we had 2 federal magistrates note that they think if he's out, that he's going to intimidate witnesses and victims. In the federal indictment, they note that after Cassie's lawsuit in 2023, they say that Diddy and some of his team members, people that worked for the Combs enterprise, were going and intimidating and threatening people. So these judges both think that he's a risk to do that. Not so much flight, but more of a risk of intimidation. So that being said, we also saw a little bit of a weird move from his legal team, Chris. They found a letter with the court saying that they're no longer going to push for him to get out. And that leaves many of us wondering, oh, does that mean he wants to talk? Does that mean he may want to do what's called a proffer and perhaps let the government know what he may know if they think that it could be of interest?
That's fascinating.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we'll see how this is just getting started.
It is.
Court TV anchor Julie Grant, always great to have you. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Chris.